All right, y'all. Welcome back to Strategy 8 of TABE Language E. This is going to be a pretty short lesson. We're still on the topic of defining words, and this particular lesson is about using references to define words. So, in other words, using a dictionary or a glossary. I'm actually not going to read through this text. You can do that on your own, but I'll kind of summarize what's here. It tells us about dictionaries. I don't know that many of us use paper dictionaries anymore, but of course there are online dictionaries. If you Google a word, typically it's going to take you to a website that is an online type of dictionary. But one of the main concepts here is that in a dictionary, a word will have multiple definitions. It can have many definitions. Um, those definitions may be different because it's part of some, like professional jargon or lingo. Sometimes words just have different meanings. Sometimes words have different parts of speech and they mean similar things. So the point is that a dictionary can give you a list, a breakdown of all of those meanings. They also talk about glossaries. Glossaries are kind of like a dictionary, but they're not a book within themselves. They're kind of like a little dictionary section that is put at the end of a larger book, or often like a textbook, to define key terms. So, the goal of a glossary is not to define, like all the words in the language or most of the words, but rather just those that are important to the textbook or whatever it is that you're learning. Okay, and we are going to look here at the example because it gives you a little bit of a breakdown of what a dictionary entry looks like. So let's say you looked up the definition of the word bank, and of course we have a noun, the place where the money's kept. But also, bank can be a verb, to form into a pile. Like I banked all of my extra vacation days. I'm not literally putting them in a pile, but I'm gathering them together. So just be aware that words are going to have different meanings. In a test situation, you won't be able to look them up, but fortunately, the way it works on TABE is they give you a dictionary entry, and then they ask you questions about that. So there's a lot less memorization, but certainly being able to work with the definition is important, probably most important. Okay, this is such a short lesson that I'm actually going to go ahead and do the answers and explanation right now. There's not really a lot of point in making a second video because it's going to be really quick. So for number one, we're asked which definition of the word I is used in the sentence and why. Lynn's son's eyed the cakes in the bakery window, and it's a verb. And here we go. It's definition 4, to stare at. Lynn's sons stare at the cakes in the bakery window. Replace it with the definition and see if it works. And that'll usually tell you for sure whether you've chosen the right word. Okay, over here on 2 through 5, we're supposed to look and see which one fits the sentence best. And, they are synonyms. They're similar words. But one will be more precise to the context of the sentence. So 2, the soldiers marched in the parade. Walked is not wrong, but marched is certainly a more precise description of what the soldiers are actually doing. They're marching. Okay, 3, the angry little boy demanded an ice cream cone. If he's angry, he's going to demand, not ask for. Give me. Okay, 4, after learning that Mara lied about her, Jane decided once and for all. We need to have that precise word decide, showing that she is making a decision. And then 5, Javier glanced at the newspaper article, but he did not really see it. If he glared, he would be staring at it, but glancing is just kind of looking at it casually without seeing. All right, in number 6, we've got another dictionary entry here for fan. It's a lot of information here, but the question is pretty clear cut. Which definition of the word fan is used in the following sentence? Clark turned on the fan in the den. How about definition 1? A machine used to cool down the air. Okay, 7. Which word or phrase best completes the sentence to show that Keisha is sure Daniel will be on time? Knew. Keisha knew Daniel would show up on time. And then number 8, we're asked, which of these is the meaning of the phrase adapt to climate change as it is used in the sentence? Let's go to the sentence. Scientists do not know how many types of animals will be able to adapt to climate change. All right, so the definition says change one's behavior to fit a situation. Climate change is the situation. Adaptation is changing one's behavior. So how about C? Act differently means the same thing as change one's behavior, which means the same thing as adapt. All right. Not that you will have access to dictionaries and glossaries on the test, but you will have some questions like this that will give you practice dictionary entries or glossary entries that you have to use to answer the questions. So while it's certainly not useful to memorize definitions of tons and tons of words, it is very useful to get familiar with the way that a dictionary definition is formatted, the way it's laid out, and of course get used to the idea that a word has many definitions that are listed in its dictionary entry. Okay, that's all we need to do with this lesson. It was one of the shorter ones. This is both the the lesson and the review answers part as well. So there's obviously not going to be a second video that says answers and explanation.